Living at home gives you so much more identity. Being able to be at home with family, with friends in a normal environment just provides that layer of something normal that you can kind of grasp to, which is often quite a nice comfort compared to everything else that you're living with. My name is Evie Toombs. I'm 21 years old and I live in Skegness by the seaside. I was born with spina bifida, which is a spinal cord injury that affects the nerves to my legs, my bladder and my bowel. So I've been catheterised since I was 3 years old, much to the delight of my parents, who tried to pin me down with the nurses to get that done, and grew up obviously with my legs not working very well, with a lot of physio, living in and out of hospital and trying to balance that with living a normal life, and at the time hiding it as well. An average day is pretty chaotic, I'd say. Every morning for the past 3.5 years, I've woken up attached to my TPN. I had an NG tube, which is a nasal tube, for several years and was still losing weight at the time. We then swapped it to a different nasal tube that went really deep into the gut, and that still wasn't successful. So Hickman lines are obviously used for a lot of chemotherapy and cancer patients, but more longer term for tube feeding. It goes into the chest, it's tunnelled under the skin, into the jugular, and then down into the heart, so it can deliver nutrients straight into the bloodstream, bypassing the digestive tract, which doesn't really want to play ball. It's a full sterile procedure. You've got to scrub everything down, use all the equipment from, say, theatres. Once I've done that, that can take about half an hour. I'll then go and try and do a catheter and then empty my stoma, take my medications, do my physio, and by that point I'm probably running late for something else and need to get going again. Growing up was a very chaotic mix of my parents and us as a family making sure we're at every hospital appointment, making sure that I'm healthy, and trying to get that perfect balance that doesn't exist. I think definitely having your family that don't sugarcoat things too much. So even if I was poorly, if I was misbehaved, I was still told off, things like that, and treated kind of as equals with my brother. We haven't found much technology that can help. I think a lot of the time it's more managing your lifestyle, things like that, and making things as easy as possible and having help on hand so that I can just shout when I need help. My mum was quite horsey when I was younger, so I began kind of riding a little bit, and then by the time I was 10 or 11, wanted to take it a bit more seriously, and that was when I got registered as a para-athlete due to my lower leg weakness, which then kind of gives you a bit more options with what you can do and getting help, and that was when I really began to really enjoy it because it was that little bit easier too. And we ended up being selected for the Team GB teams and went to Munich for their Horse of the Year show. So that was incredible. And then recently this year won the national championships with my horse Jack, which is a really great achievement. The main reason that keeps me going, I think that would have to be the horses. They don't mind whether you're poorly, whether you're healthy. I'm very used to being like, oh yeah, well I need to do that for me, but being able to do it for something else is so much more rewarding because you're getting to care for something, and it gets you out of bed in the morning. Even if you don't want to look after yourself, you've got to look after them. Started visiting primary schools to educate younger children on invisible illnesses, hidden disabilities, and so that they can grow up with that acceptance. And it's more about targeting everyone so that then actually say that 1 in 30 of those pupils that does have a disability knows that their classmates are understanding. Home to me is being together, having family, and that support network around you. I could have home at hospital if my family's there. We all work together, how we mould and have fun, but also look after the things that need to be done, cause a bit of chaos in between. That would be home wherever you pick it up and drop it down. Having that support network around you, especially when you need them, is really important.